Good morning.
Good morning.
Now to say,
I am Yadom. And I'm starting my analysis from very, very unusual angle. And tying and come out in mainstream sports. Giddy, but a very, very important. You better change against so on Saturday, and you family did the rest of in common. And I mean, I'm social media, sir. And me koto sa video we former Arsenal right back Bakary Sagna. Na oye interview on CNN. Na Rich asama branch ene kano editie papa most of the time so me call me my first degree no me major in psychology me kai Professor Dankwa ene neba me clinical psychology any other enti unim say eto de bia enkofo bebre o mo complaining nanse ase me ho dodo nanse ase me tie me ya but me no me dry enko nanse ase me feel fine Rich bebre na enye medical I mental. Sometimes when you are mentally stressed your body react as if say you are having a medical problem. But I dream bread. And this part of the world make Africa quite rich. We are so vulnerable to stress.
Too much.
And you will say, "Obet man surround baby." Na uti oya, on your headache. Obet man on parasa de enko. Maybe within the week, Rich. A busia pressure be, course be, bills be. Na amount to cry pile. There are a lot of people who walk to hospitals to complain about medical. They owe me, and yet it has got nothing to do with medical. And mental health. But in Pimpi, you know, Rich, your mental health, you know, because you're a war-oriented woman, you know, we don't seek mental health care. Na me ma fatulo record interview ne kakra
say the chama trying to know
the same thing I fatulo so kai say as I retire now kwetena fie no look very very nice
Bakary Sagna
say we 42 years Rich me say utie show now ana uhwe show na yentie sanya interview ne kakra bi na asem na o kan it will touch your heart and ubenya a renewal of understanding of a new baby na me fan entumi fubi na ye movie on Rich.
I lost my brother when I joined to Arsenal in 2008. My brain was not here, my second season. So some of the players might come and be in the same mindset, might not have their head into football. In the bus, one space will be free. So I clearly advise them to speak up, first of all. Things I didn't do, but it had an impact on me, so I know how it feels. They might be, it's okay, we're fine, but they need to process. They need to process it, they need to open up about it, they need not to forget, because the mistake I did was to try and avoid talking about it. I was getting upset, but it was a mistake, because you have to let things out before you can even perform and let your football out. So no, we should not forget, we should always remind the player he was, first of all, and for the family also to always bring up his memory and as a team, maybe try to use this experience to get stronger and use it every single game. It's life. We're all gonna go one day. Unfortunately, some people go way more earlier. It's upsetting, very upsetting, because you have many questions, but you need to move on. It was like...
Dabena, I think I say he mentioned it in his analysis. Say, Diogo Jota won our wuro. ebe affect Liverpool players na for omo mutie no omo hye no asama baka Isaac kan ne tofa bomu nie o se o join Arsenal no in 2008 ne second season ni yaketwa wuye na utie full interview na o se ni yaketwa ni free mu no o se baka Isaac na mo nchi free Africa enti ni mama ne papa na busuafo time omo de aye ni hye no omo ba Africa ba ono bo nti wantimi andi omachi amba but then nya no oye close to him pa na oko camp no na onu akasa hu say bibi hano then we went on to say onu ampa na obebo Arsenal the first season na ogidi say sa time no na open wiase nyina omombo number 2 omuni mbo oka ho no afina ne performance no I started to perform na ni players ono mu eyo mu na omu ye ni teammate na omu nim se ni afiri mu no se omu se otwodi bia no ma ba ne nchen na omu ni na be kasa no obi ma ne encourage sem na that time no as a vendor ya dear pa because as a vendor e fa no ana de bia da na one ne kasa na rich o say that time no ne kren ne say na ne body ewo Arsenal team nim eko training ball matches but na adwene any team nim
oni niawu
yes
o said the be how
I say one day what na Arsenal psychologist no e ba ne nche no be ka che ne say me who say you are not of yourself na saying me observe you bibi how but only wagging say on me be che but after the me anka say metu anamo aba what is the problem Rich osi obie na no a otimi echiechira semni mu chire psychologist no any advice ni therapy psychologist ni ni frame no ebua ne papa ama otimi move on Rich impempi on ye betie so o play papa free mu ye betie so o play we no nimbo obopa afi all of a sudden the performance ni nye ye betie say oh we ye koto na ba no nimbo ba oba club we ntimi ammo dem bese be kanya ne say Rich any players nkoa ababu we ya yebu enuma bebre na hanko for Rich one day obi be aduma na ohra na ho fama na enkoyi a don't blame the person ebia na bibi ha no but senior Ekano, I will be an advocate with him today. Say, Rich, say bibi how, probably ne enenenka. The more you speak out of your problems, you know, the more we seeking help with professionals, you know, the more na we ebwa am waiting me back. And then I'm paying for say, oto yarea, and I will no draw. And see, well, we see anyway, I'll share, you know, a lot of your problems are mental. I mean, guys, what about them? But a lot of your problems are mental problems. I've been doing a busier pressure.
Consanta only a breach for needing command. See, basket or outside. I say, Ayala, we are more vulnerable to stress abroad than home in Ghana.
Now,
because
because they just want someone to speak to. Because their stress levels now on.
Madam Baguka, the baba near 10 minutes. Bye bye. On once a babu, not 10 minutes.
Is it basket me reference to your mental health awareness? No, I'm not saying stress, no, those who are more, but I wanted the at least. Companies were industrial psychologists, HR, exactly. More counseling services near there. We've neglected it. Mental health, I guess, any additional mumpo.
To be a Hana, sebi.
Your mom could call you. I go see and say, Mondo do me, sir. If you even know, say a Busajo engineer, why will you recommend she will go? Why not go? psychologist bɛn na ɔbɛka sɛ mama schedule meeting man ɛne ne nkɔkasa the best you can say ɛna send no momo na fa kɔ hospital but wo would be so hospital a okay nsɛm yɛ ha ma me ɛnyɛ medical yɛwɔ big problem wɔ ha ɛna medima no si no mesrɛ yɛ teams na ɛwɔ Ghana no bibia bi adi prefer sɛ players and mental health any ɔmo performance na ɛkɔ a lot of because Sanya Kanye I say he was one of the best right backs in the world but when he started having quiet moments in absent mind you know on one say okujina park ni so the performance no ba na eba form enti ebi obi wo timu wasate sa ojino ho a wonti ase ya akwa so dey problems ni do so ye place ne girlfriend bi akonyem ne baba ku bi wo ne baby mama ho dey bi a pressure me mo player ni din one of the coaches no coach has na you were having a conversation okay say Charlie say akwa the ball but pa na say I know so but do you know how I am managing him and I'm say there be say player no and on why oba no ball na wo na pressure oba na de man wa kra na no enti player need to be back training or when you are playing the hospital no so baby ha akwa we obako ne nche no o say oh no pay me be akwa ne ma me afre me pressure o so opetu na series akoye sesi no money bi of for the ma ne ma me na the week no the player will train nice and the weekend he will play super game enti rich mental stress a problem mummy nyina yam pe won asam nka e bia
obi ti say that's play utie play interview na
you could see
who say asem no
a shadow swama onya akonya so oka no he didn't care
because onya obi an kan che no
what you say
very important
it means say we teams no as we manage the players and the camp no our mental state any nyoma how mo with our life no so you take it serious and we any football some and access sports it applies to you in our daily lives you should be very very conscious about your mental health now rich and run a yes sorry show no so and it say he said the Manchester United agree £71 million with Brentford on Brian Mbuemo but I'm not paying me a different angle to the conversation. Rich, Mbuemo numbers now. Emma who say, look, Senka Otinia Kobo say our Manchester United there, the mega will come good. Because Senna I Chechuno, Premier League season HME, Rich, or share 20 goals. Say all rank top goal scorers are fourth. Me expected assists. 9.26 first. Ne crosses attempts 202 first. Kilometers or cover 387.6 third. Ne sprints 870 third. Rich, these are good numbers, especially for Ruben Amorim. And the way also born a ball. Oh, here workaholics and this guy numbers in clean. But the angle I'm coming from, baby, I think say Canelo and now you this uncle balance you jadi, but a big problem. Rich, come on, you know. No Manchester United general na sopano. And I say Alex Vegas na some na make. Na enko for support Chelsea. Any other clubs. Almost some reason they say almost you. Na say what Essien or and what Didier Drogba or and what Mikel Obi or the point I'm trying to make and I say even people fell in love with Barcelona because they could relate with Samuel Eto'o. Any other. Now Rich, Africa, it became a big rumor, any debate. Since Alex Ferguson in African players as some. Yeah.
And then
and must say it was simply because Alex Ferguson say auto African players now they will not be available to you some years I ever AFCON no, when you really needed them. Now, Rich, you add Mbuemo to Manchester United squad, no, and off head. I'm sure you are at the peak of the season during AFCON. You are going to lose honor in Mbuemo, no, number one. You will lose number one goalkeeper Andre Onana to also the Cameroon national team. And Rich, and you the Moroccan national team are hosting AFCON no, will have Mazari and so team and Abranti friend Ahmad will obviously be part of the Ivorian team Ebeba the AFCON no. And I'm watching in a major and say this current Manchester United team are Amorim in building. Say Manchester say you do AFCON time. Now Manchester should lose Mbuemo, should lose Andre Onana, omo lusu Ahmad, na omo elusi Mazwaria. Based on Amorim first season ayehuno. Any ni team or share for this season and so Manchester United at a hoping 71 million pounds akoto player and so ya na ye no kre the na first na ebimu ntiase say Alex Ferguson and African players asem no Rich, the reality is that it will huge impact minimum so adwene ho
to be honest we no watch my adwene so because imagine ye bo season no na time I be here in Mbuemo and then Onana who lose omutu Cameroon because mo kwa AFCON.
Then Mazwari joins Morocco. Then Ahmad joins Ivory Coast.
Almost a key place.
Yes. I was thinking about it. How much way? And I'm saying, I told the beer you feel no am fair in our judgment. And people hated Alex Ferguson for that. But the reality is that, Rich, to lose these 4 players to a tournament in the middle of the season, about Manchester United. About Manchester United. And see, that was what I wanted to bring back. When they are buying these African players, they think about all these things. And I mean, say at this time, Alex Ferguson any influence on Manchester United, so say the first now one day. But he will be worried when Otis say Manchester is adding another African player. And the worry in Rebecca say during AFCON, these things will come back to haunt team and friend Manchester United. And Mbuemo is so many medicals this weekend. And actually by Monday, Tuesday, Manchester United will make the official announcement say Omanya Brantia, your friend Mbuemo about join you. Now, as I announce no need mad wake, you know, Rich supporters in a jar.
As I follow.
Yes. And I'll tell you why, Omega. I must say, since the turn of the millennium, Arsenal offer direct Chelsea players, Maku 10.
Direct.
Shut down your success story, Biasa. David Luiz, Peter Cech, Willian, you go back to Kepa, Raheem Sterling, Jorginho. I was a man saying no more bar. And she then you be who be giddy. And they don't understand why. Say Chelsea, you might be player we ya be na compare no the Arsenal. Mo fa ne my na omako akofa. Rich, what do you say on internet this one? You can do an online petition to a decision.
Yeah.
Change.com near there. What do you say? The Athletic Amaye in TSA, they wrote an article, and before they were writing the article, no, not change.com petitioner Arsenal fans media go to online. Said no need to sign no or money in John. Now Arsenal paying for some funding come back no. They had over 500,000 signatories.
As a supporters knew Mujalampe.
And they've said BBSC and the success story, and I said the success rate, and this should be answer. But Rich, why do you think Mikel Arteta and Andre Beta will sign on him at Wiki? Almost look, only reason is simple. This season here, Omato Kepa did 30 years. Omato Christian Norgard did 31 years. Omato Victor Jokeres will be 27 years. They think say players now Arsenal Eddie Omoba club anymore. For them to balance the age of the recruitment, they needed a young guy. Noni Madueke Eddie 23 years. Now any age no crown no problem. Issue they say they wanted a forward. As specifically or a winger more. But probably right hand side, no one's one left hand side. And they are not just looking for BKK. Probably our Premier League experience and rich almost have versatility, and they thought paying 48.7, which could rise to 52 million pounds for a 23-year-old Noni Madueke our Premier League experience, affected the player now more penal. And both Mikel Arteta and the Andre Beta say, Abanchen is a good signing for them.
And you're not MFA.
Me Maka say, players here, Omo join here. The thinking of Arsenal this year is to build a very, very good squad. Me Maka say Arsenal and Kaka first 11 in Guardia, Rich, they have a better idea who their first 11 a year. But they want to build squad that is deep enough. Say, you go through the seasons, all the competitions level compete. You see, I can say your rotation. You maybe more resting, a bit more form, about form, a bit more pra. Any son of manomana, they will get backups. Ometimi, Edo Mudidia show Muse. They will still keep the team consistently in terms of more competition. And now, no Madueke, FT Arsenal, or more profana, or more pay in the more airpen. Rich. Dolo Sports say one of the biggest transfer saga has come to an end. Abanti a friend of Victor Osimhen. Say the Entiasiaba. Now Rich, then say football contracts, any transfer contracts, are you interested? First of all, Rich, I am very, very surprised Galatasaray etimia pulling off Osimhen. A deal no, because say Ushe Sika ye involved, which I can't mean say a Turkish club ebetia. But I am having a feeling say Rich, Omushe Victor Osimhen, Oba Galatasaray, do obey my club no. The we are not supporters sleep and ask them now. Rich Omujini say commercial value eventually Edibe Bromon or Metio Makano. Now, what is the details in here? She say almost deal now. 75 million na Napoli airpeno. Galatasaray is on betia. Netia sembiye. Napoli si sikano omum penny installments bebreo. And omum penny 10 by 2026 ending no. Now say within the next 2 years 75 no. Also Galatasaray for the ball. Into Omajatum say Mbuemo 40 million upfront. Not 35 for no so no. Omatia next year. And by the close of next year, no Omatia Sikana year. Now Rich, in the contract, no policy. There is a clause in the contract say until 2027. Say 2027 with the Galatasaray can decide what they want. But Rich, until 2027. Galatasaray ain't mean to Victor Osimhen and any Italian Serie A team. They don't want Abentia back in the league to come and hunt them. And for the foreseeable future, no. Galatasaray you might so on Victor Osimhen. I'm an Italian Serie A team. Rich, almost say they will pay twice 75 million back to Tima, your friend in Napoli, and that is the dealer. Abenti Chelsea and top also on Saudi for Al Hilal and Abante Fede Victor Osimhen after the loan spell I was taking and Gidi say he still want to maintain the Turkish league na wakobo ewo rich medima no sikrano the mundo for keka about Luis Diaz Barcelona for no omunya no Barca say they don't want to enter into a bidding war for Luis Diaz, number 1. Number 2, they will not pay Sika a 60 million Hong for Luis Diaz. Na player ni young player. Player no 2 years. I want a contract so. Team na obono. Fofia and Tuata. I lose one of our forwards to accident. Wo te Spain. And I ɛsesa wo boɔ a wo de beto player no abra wo nim say this same player Bayern already pro any around 67 million akɔ ama Liverpool so mo nje team was Saudi Arabia aye very so betia 100 million and you can Liverpool even consider because eventually probably will not want to move to Saudi Arabia yet. Rich Mundo front page they say Barcelona for say they will not pay in excess of 60 million. And more so for Abanti friend Luis Diaz, and that is their plan. Our market agent, say or bet me I convince Liverpool. I'm Magia, why am I ready? So Muntimia, they want to move on. Moving on to who are Marcus Rashford. Rich football now, yes, they tier and a BB team is there, but at the rate that no man call it the rich, and share another Barcelona for Orienti. Omuntimi ento Abante friend Luis Diaz and unim the emissary wo ho omu the Abante ni age and eyi omu ho ano Abante no kwa nyini 28 29 there and until I was say ye cotton ne be 80 million
sabi o pama bo anu anya na was no kan
a good point though but rich obi anu say Luis Diaz nyini but ni bo no bo ni bo eden. That is the fact. Untimintia, kasa untimintia na pe oba bitira. Rich and 3 bet to Enura. The Spain former the year coach no. Rich. Monsieur Omonche game in 3 goals. And Spain will obviously we're going to win. Rich. 2 penalties in the game. Ni na umbo sen. 2 penalties. And we are among Kafra, Spain for man and a kumo, but any baby bet no. 3 bet to a course. J na HNI NDB. First one a 2-1-8-9 8B 5-2 2-1-8-9 8B 5-2. Second one no also a 2-1-8-9 9F 8-3 2-1-8-9 9F 8-3 and the last one no also 2-1-8-9 B8 80 2-1-8-9 B880 2-1-8-9 9F83 2-1-8-9 8B52 3 bet to course na yefa ko pesca na yefa enjoy a weekend no want to reach after you bet me abefie na abedi komo